There's a certain kind of courage that nobody ever names. Not the kind you see in movies, not the kind with a uniform or a medal or a crowd. It's quieter than that. It's the kind that shows up on a Tuesday morning when a man looks at his life and decides he's done waiting for permission. I knew a man named Raymond. He worked in a processing plant for most of his adult life. 41 years, same parking lot, same fluorescent lights, same cup of coffee, from the same machine. He wasn't unhappy exactly, but there was always this feeling underneath, like something was slowly running out. When Raymond turned 62, his doctor told him something simple. He said, "Raymond, your body is fine right now, but the clock doesn't run backwards." Raymond thought about that on the drive home. He thought about it for 6 months. Now, Raymond had not planned well. He knew it. He didn't need a spreadsheet to tell him. Life had taken its share. A divorce in his late 40s, a son who needed help. He didn't refuse. A roof that chose the worst possible year to fail. He wasn't careless with money, he was just human. And there are people in this world who will look at a man like Raymond and very confidently tell him he is not ready. They have the numbers, they have the charts, they have the websites that calculate exactly how much you need down to the last dollar. And Raymond didn't have that number. He knew he didn't. So he kept showing up for 2 more years until one morning he sat in the parking lot and he couldn't make himself go inside. He just sat there, engine off, looking at the building, and something shifted in him, quietly, like a door closing. He called his daughter that afternoon. He told her what he was thinking. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Dad, what are you waiting for?" He didn't have a good answer. Raymond retired at 64, with less than what the experts recommend, less than what the calculators say you need, less than what most people would call enough. The first few weeks, he didn't know what to do with the silence. He'd wake up at 5:30 out of pure muscle memory and just sit in his kitchen, drinking coffee, listening to the house. He told me it felt strange, like the first day of summer when you were a kid. That feeling of too much open space. He tried a couple of things. Picked up a few shifts at a hardware store. Didn't love it. Left after 3 weeks. Tried something else. But here's what Raymond also did that nobody could have predicted. He started paying attention to the world, to people, to small things. He noticed the way light falls through trees in the late afternoon. He started cooking real meals, not just heating things up. He called his sister for the first time in 4 years. He took long drives, not going anywhere, just going. And something began to happen, slowly, like a plant that wasn't getting enough light. Finally moved to a window. Raymond started coming back to himself. Now I'm not telling you. Raymond got rich. He didn't. He still watches what he spends. He still takes small jobs when they come. There are months that are tighter than others. But here is what Raymond told me. About 2 years into his retirement, he said, "Walter, I spent 41 years thinking the goal was to save enough to finally start living. And then I realized living was the whole thing, not the reward at the end of it, the whole thing." I've been thinking about that ever since, because I've watched a lot of men stay too long, not because they loved the work, but because they were afraid of the numbers, afraid of what people would think, afraid of what they might feel in the silence if they finally stopped moving. And I understand that fear. I do. But I've also watched what happens when someone waits too long, when the body starts making decisions that the mind refused to. There was a man who worked near Raymond, called himself a planner, said he wasn't going to retire until every number was exactly right. He talked about it all the time. What he'd do when he finally retired, where he'd travel, how he'd spend his mornings. He had a whole life drawn out in his head. He died at 67, 2 months before he was planning to leave. I'm not telling you that story to frighten you. I'm telling you because some people are still out there waiting for the perfect moment. And the perfect moment doesn't send a calendar invite. Raymond is 70 now. He tends a small garden. He makes videos of his back porch. He takes drives on weekday mornings when the roads are quiet. He is not rich. He is not famous. He is not living the retirement the magazines describe. But if you saw his face when he talks about his days now, you would understand immediately what it means to be wealthy in the ways that actually matter. There is a kind of person who builds their whole sense of worth around their ability to produce, to perform, to be needed in a measurable way. And when that structure disappears, they don't know who they are anymore. I've seen it. It's not a small thing. But I've also seen the other kind, the ones who discover late in life that they were always more than their job, that there was a whole person in there who never got much room to breathe. Raymond told me once that he wished he'd started listening to himself 30 years earlier. Not to his fears, to himself. I don't think most of us are taught how to do that. We're taught to produce, to achieve, to accumulate, and those aren't bad things. But somewhere along the way, a lot of good people forgot that they were the point, not the savings account, not the title, not the number of years served. They were the point. Raymond still works a little, a few hours a week, not because he has to, because it gives him structure and a little gas money and a reason to be somewhere other than his own head. He found something simple that he actually likes, and he does it on his own terms. That's not nothing, that's actually everything. He doesn't have the retirement they advertise to us, the one with the sailboat, and the grandchildren on a beach, and a financial advisor smiling beside you. He has something quieter, something more honest. He has Tuesday mornings that belong to him. He has a phone that doesn't ring with anything urgent. He has a cup of coffee on a back porch with nobody telling him where to be. And when I see him now, when I really look at his face, I see something I didn't see when he was still in that parking lot. I see a man who finally met himself. A lot of us never get there. We stay busy enough that we never have to. I think sometimes the bravest thing a person can do isn't to keep going, it's to stop, to sit in the quiet, and trust that the person sitting there is enough. Raymond trusted that, with less money than the experts said he needed, with more uncertainty than he was comfortable with a life that didn't look like any plan he'd made. And on the other side of all that uncertainty, he found something. Most people spend their whole lives chasing. He found his days. I wonder sometimes how many people are out there right now, still in the parking lot, engine off, looking at the building, waiting for a sign that it's okay to go. Maybe this is that sign.